This is the kind of video that I wish I could do more often. You know, in all honesty, this is the kind of video that I wish I could always do. Now, the footage that you're seeing is the product of me first logging into 3.11. Yes, 3.11 is live. I mean, technically to the end of the quarter, they had until October 30th, and we've all become very used to patches not arriving on time. Patches being delayed, sometimes a few weeks, sometimes a month, sometimes a little bit more. And to see it here and to see it live is great. What's even better is the fact that it's stable. But we're going to get to that in a minute. One of the things that they've added in with this patch is something that I've been asking for a long time. Now, of course, the big mask that you see in the middle that your character can wear, you buy that in the shop. I'm okay with it. Not really a big deal. The mask on the far right, the Vanduul mask, is something that you earn from killing 50 unique players in the Persistent Universe. I believe it was originally slated to only occur in the glaive. Like, you had to use a glaive to do it, and everyone got a loner glaive for the period to accomplish this task. Though I think it's been expanded to the Gladius now, because the glaive, unfortunately, is not really all that great of a fighter. But over on the far left, you might recognize the Microid armor, but with the new mask. The character kind of, balancing the knife on the end of their finger. And that is earned by going out in the game and basically finding it at an asteroid near Grimhex. We'll get to that in a second. But this is one of the things I wish the game had more of, because it's not money, it's not player power, but it's a collectible item that you have to do something in the game to get. And this is something that, whenever we see all these new things getting added to the game, I wish there was more of this. I wish that every time you raided a bunker and you stole one of those beat up, assault rifles or whatnot from an enemy, that you got to keep all those things, and that you could stash them away in your hangar or somewhere, and you could kind of get that sense of progression somehow. But here you go to Bennyhenge near Grimhex. There are plenty of videos out there that will teach you how to get to this location. I'm not going to basically overwrite their work. They went to a lot of effort to make those videos, so they should reap the benefit. But once you get to Bennyhenge, it's not that far from Grimhex. It's only like 254 kilometers. You go, you check out this guy, this unfortunate soul here. You search him, and apparently that is all you need to trigger getting that mask that was over on the far left in the previous shot. And they're going to award it to us, I believe, fairly quickly, possibly Monday, ? Not sure. Comments below if it's been moved or changed or anything like that. But that is where you will then be awarded this mask and the other masks as well. No, the character mask, the funny little teddy bear mask, that mask is currently in game. You buy it, it's awarded to you. And that is all pretty cool. But there was another thing that they also brought into the game, which I kind of wish that we would see a little bit more of. And that is the new ghoulish green paint job for the Cutlass Black. Now, is selling paints on the store an ideal for me? Not really. I would love to be in a universe where we could customize it as we saw fit, that we could pick the colors and pick, whether it's a matte finish, a glossy finish, a chrome finish, whatever. I wish that we could do that as players, but the reality is that Star Citizen is a game that is probably going to require some hefty hardware in the background to keep it up, and that requires maintenance. So even after all the ship sales are done, hopefully one day, very soon, this is how the game will be funded in the future. And if that is the way that it is, as it is with games like Elite Dangerous, then I'm entirely okay with that. I have no problem supporting the games that I enjoy. I've expressed that, privately many times, and it's not a bad paint job. actually opened up an interesting door that we'll be talking about in a future Piracy Show episode. But it's great. I like it. I genuinely do. I wish, when they originally came out with the paint jobs for other ships, I was a little bit disappointed that the Cutlass didn't get a paint job, especially when the Freelancer got the quote-unquote black paint job, and I was like, that's more of a gunmetal, really. But I was kind of disappointed in that, but that the Cutlass just never got a paint job just blew my mind. It was like, this is such a popular ship. How did they never do paint jobs for the Cutlass? But finally, the Cutlass got one, and this applies to the blue and apparently the red, though I haven't tested the red yet. Now back to the topic of stability. So the footage that you're seeing right now was me and my friends, my orc, basically going and unlocking the mast together and doing all of that. But this, combined with some alternate playtime, it now accounts for about 4 hours of continuous, uninterrupted, fairly bug-free, apart from, I guess, the bugs that we're just accustomed to that really aren't game-breaking, gameplay. 4 hours of it. I mean, this is kind of, if I was hardcore into trading, this would be kind of like the golden time right now. This works so beautifully right now. This is kind of like when I first looked at 311, I was kind of not all that excited about it. When I heard that 311 came out, I was kind of like, well, I guess that means the Star Runner didn't make it in. And I was kind of disappointed about that. But we know that the Star Runner is very, very quickly moving along and is probably going to be here fairly quickly. But getting into it, even with what appeared from the outside as a fairly kind of anemic patch, the background work that seemingly has stabilized the game a lot and made the game perform a lot better has been absolutely refreshing. It has kind of rekindled a lot of my personal interest to play Star Citizen. Originally, I was kind of at a point where I was looking at different games because, there had been delays over in WoW, and, I wasn't really sure what I was going to play for the next little while to kind of keep my interest, and I was dabbling in a bunch of different games. And to see this stability brought to Star Citizen, this kind of reinvigorates my desire to kind of play the game. And I like it. I honestly do like it. I wish we had the Star Runner right now. That would be kind of like the icing on the cake. But for this stability, I'm willing to wait for the Star Runner. Overall, 311 looks like it's going to be, as long as, when we get a subsequent patch, as I suspect we are going to get in the next few days, it doesn't involve something that totally kind of upsets the apple cart, if you know what I mean. But what do I mean by getting a patch in a few days? Obviously, this weekend is the big presentation, right? The big 310 presentation, something for us all to get excited about. Or no, sorry, not the big 310 presentation. I'm thinking of it as it's the big 1010 presentation, sorry. October 10th is when we are going to get our pseudo Citizen Con. Now, obviously, some of this is probably going to have to do with the in-game election, which I think, we were just like, oh, another election. Fantastic. I can't wait to hear about this. But, I think that it is also going to possibly reveal what this gap in the production pipeline has been. Here you can actually see the green paint job on somebody's Cutlass blue for the Cutlass. So I guess it applies to all three models, though I once again have not confirmed the red. But yeah, I suspect that we are going to find out what has been eating up so much of the production pipeline over the last year. I mean, I don't think any of us would really kind of believe that it's touch-up work for Squadron 42 alone, or that all they could manage to get out was the 100i and its variants and the Star Runner, sort of, when this is the same production pipeline that was pumping out the 600i, the 890 Jump, the Reclaimer, you know, all these ships just boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden it just kind of dried up about 8 or 9 months ago, and it really got really thin. I think that we're in for a fairly substantial surprise. I don't think we're in for an Idris Kraken level surprise, but I think that something fairly substantial is coming down the road. There's a lot of suspicions out there. There's circulated, you know, leaked images and whatnot. I'm still on the fence about a lot of that stuff. I'm still not so sure. I wonder what it's going to be. I'm genuinely curious, and I'm probably going to be pretty surprised by what it is. I mean, in the past, I've made predictions and guesses based on this stuff. I mean, but the Kraken was fairly obvious. I think we can all agree that, you know, when the Kraken came in just narrowly second to the Corsair, we're all like, of course they're going to make the Kraken. I mean, you can't just sit there and just have the entire community voting on this and so many people so excited to get a capital ship and CIG to go, no, we don't like money after all. You know, no, that's not going to happen. So, but what is it this year? I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't. I've seen the suspicions. And you know, I do agree with some of it, but other parts, I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. I hope that it is a more gun-oriented, more of a brawler-oriented capital, slightly different from the Polaris. I mean, that was in the original Polaris video when that came out, and I made a video about it. I said, you know, I kind of wish that there was a gun-based variant of this ship. I still hope that this is what this is going to be. There are some indicators out there that that is the case, but once again, it's rumors and speculation. And a lot of this, of course, is going to be driven by what Squadron 42 needs. So if a ship like that is finding its way into, you know, Squadron 42 and it's going to play a fairly important role, then yeah, you know what? I think that, you know, CIG would definitely go down that route. And if they need it for Squadron 42, we might end up with something that, if it's not flight ready, it is very close to. Now, I would like to see a variant of the Polaris, because that would mean that you could piggyback the Polaris onto that and get two for the price of one, more or less, when you put those ships into production. I would very much like to see the Polaris get into the persistent universe and see what that ship's capable of. But if it is something different, as some people have indicated, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if it is indeed that, but I don't know that it is going to be that. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about a lot of these rumors. I still am. For some reason, I'm on the fence. But apart from that, whatever it's going to be, hopefully the entirety of the presentation isn't just about the election. And hopefully we are going to see what this gap in the ship production pipeline has been. Anyways, I guess we'll all find out tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.